here with the 4IR interviews. Today's subject is product lifecycle management, and here is Alan Behrens. He is an entrepreneur, an industry analyst, and an expert in technology and solutions for the manufacturing sector. Alan, welcome.
Thank you, Andrew.
Alan, we hear so much about technology, new startups, disruptors coming in, taking market share in the fourth industrial revolution. What does the fourth industrial revolution actually mean to you?
I think, in summary, it's really the digitization of technologies for manufacturing and manufacturing itself. So it's a move away from purely manual or steam-driven in often cases back in the 1800s, to what's really augmented by digital technologies, either augmented or driven by digital technologies.
Yeah, great. Product lifecycle management has been around for many years. But we're seeing now, arguably, the most amazing attention being given to it that we've not seen many years ago. What do you put that down to?
Yeah, interesting question. Personally, I don't see it as a expansion of interest. Maybe because I'm sort of the proverbial frog in hot water.
Okay.
It has been around for many, many years. And I think the attention is now increasing because we're hearing more successes of more companies, not just the larger companies, the automotive, the aerospace, who've been using this type of technology or its predecessors for many years. We're now starting to see it sort of morph into different forms. But at the end of the day, it's just an acronym. What it constitutes is more important than the acronym and the software from the individual vendors. So, perhaps I don't see it in the same way as others outside, but I can see the profile increasing.
Yeah, great. So let's just jump into that whole life cycle. I guess jumping in at ideation, design side of things. The world of CAD, it continues to change, continues to evolve. How do you see that progressing over the years to come?
Again, a very good question. I wrote many years ago about what I thought was going to happen to the world of CAD.
Okay.
It's actually, strangely enough, come pretty much close to what I predicted today. It's really not CAD, it's design. So CAD is just one of the tools I think people are using and will use to design technologies. But I think more and more it's becoming about increasing the capabilities of the tools, providing more augmentation, AI, machine learning, things like that, which can help people design better technologies or make better products. At the end of the day, it's about making stuff. And the CAD tools we talk about of old are a means to make stuff. So it's really about creating a new paradigm of technologies which will allow people to make stuff. And I think we're going to see quite a big shift, especially with some of these technologies which employ AI and generative technologies which will help build new products.
Yeah, great. You mentioned new technologies coming through. What do you see from an Industry 4 technology perspective, the main 2 or 3 that's going to have the greatest impact on product lifecycle over the next few years?
I think, certainly it all coalesces around data. Right? So really everything that's happening in all dimensions of Industry 4.0 or the fourth industrial revolution is really about data, which is the new gold, as people talk about it. And I certainly see a lot happening in communicating, collaborating, connecting, but even more so in terms of things like knowledge graphs, in terms of AI technologies, augmenting what we've already got to try and provide this better human experience to the tools and the manufacturing techniques that we're trying to achieve. So I think, if you're asking for 2 or 3, I think there are some interesting stuff happening in terms of generative for the additive market, but that's only a small market at the moment, relatively small. It will increase. There's data technologies such as AI, machine learning, and in particular, I think things like knowledge graphs are actually going to make people deliver better tools, or not enable people to make better tools.
Yeah, good. You mentioned data. driving so many things. One big area to us and the audience is the massive area of the digital twin.
Yeah.
How do you see that coming through? It's a big challenge, it's a big project, it's many projects. How do you see that happening over the next few years?
Well, the first thing is there's no one digital twin.
No.
There's many, right? It's a concept of a digital representation of what is out in the field being serviced and repaired and
All production lines.
or even through the production line.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right. So there could be many digital twins. I think there's two things. One is it is what people worry about. So people are interested in the twin when it comes to manufacturing, production and service. They're also interested in the thread, so the digital thread, which really, in my eyes, the next generation of PLM is actually more about the digital thread.
Yeah.
And the digital twin is a instance of, within that thread of where people can help improve their manufacturing and their maintenance and their design of their technologies. So hugely important. I think we're going to see a lot of technologies, AR, VR, MR, helping people with the experience of the digital twin, but not actually, they aren't the digital twin, but they help with the experience. People, even in the PLM world, like Aris, for instance, will have those types of technologies integrated within their thread to allow people to improve the experience, improve the ease of use, and improve the capabilities for users. It's all about the users. How easy is it to use? How valuable is it? How easy is it to implement?
Yeah, fantastic. Big area.
Big area, IoT as well. I mean, we haven't talked about IoT, but IoT, extremely important, but it's useful in certain areas, and its value is going to be immense. I mean, again, I think its value is going to be immense.
Yeah, it's happening. Good. Another particular passion of mine, I've got several, is data, is collaboration, is using that, putting people together, designing together. Some people would call that part of a product innovation platform. How do you see that marketplace growing in terms of product innovation platforms?
Well, I see the companies that claim to have product innovation platforms coalescing. There's a very few large companies who claim that they are the provider of product innovation platforms. It's an interesting one, when you're talking about big companies, the aerospace and the automotive markets in particular, and those huge companies, product innovation platform to them is very important. I mean, it's fundamentally important. So they'll either design their own, or they'll buy somebody's in, which obviously is slightly more practical in a lot of circumstances, especially with timescales. But for the smaller companies, their needs are for the today, right? And they're more interested in products that work together. So openness to them is more important than the platform in which it's built on, because they haven't got the bandwidth or the personnel actually to implement these larger systems. But there is a place for both. So the product innovation platform, very important, especially for larger companies. It provides a great framework for collaboration and cooperation of technologies. At the end of the day, it's about openness. I absolutely support openness. I think any company that thinks that their product innovation platform is their own, it should perhaps reconsider their messaging, because other people need to plug in. Companies have many technologies in use within design, engineering and manufacturing, and they need to be able to plug stuff in. So whilst I believe the innovation platform is a valuable technology and it exists, and some companies are selling theirs as a sort of goal for larger organisations, they need to be open.
Yeah, very good. I meet a lot of companies, as you say, the automotives, the aerospaces, and many more now, different sectors getting involved in it. What would be your advice for the first 2 or 3 things that they might do in the product life cycle to really make it effective?
Well, I think there are many companies that have already got first generation or even second generation PLM implemented. So if I answer the question as what would I suggest people think about when they're thinking about implementing or getting going with these systems, first one is embrace your people. So one of the biggest factors that prohibits or stymies any use of these types of technologies, and it's not just unique to PLM, are the people. So there are methods such as design thinking, which people can employ to engage the people in the process of decision making and understanding the needs of the business and the implementation. I think that, without doubt, is probably the most important bit. I mean, technology is secondary to the people.
Yeah.
The second thing is, I would always say, decide what it is that's really important. What are you trying to achieve with PLM, right? You're not going to try and boil the ocean. I mean, many people think about their problem is an ocean. It isn't, right? The other thing is technology is built to do certain things, and it's very, very good at doing that. So consider what you may need to change in the business to adapt the business to better take advantage of technology, as opposed to trying to get the technology to just replicate what you're doing at the moment. Automating a wrong process creates a quicker wrong process, right? So think about what it is you're trying to do. And the last thing I'd suggest is do things in bite slices, things that are achievable, tactical, that you can measure the benefit over a short period of time. Don't consider this as a 5-year plan. Consider this as multiple iterations of an agile X week to X month plan.
Yeah.
Right? And that will allow you to build on success. You need to consider that you might need to change, very frequently. It's not a matter of being wrong, it's about finding a better way to do things. But again, going back to the people, it is all about the people.
Firstly people, lastly people.
First and last.
You bet. Alan, thanks so much. Appreciate it. A world happening out there in product lifecycle, and it's great to see you at the forefront of it, if I may say.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.